When we initially started looking at putting this parlor in, we were milking 134 cows in a double four step up, and it was taking us, I think it was taking us over 3.5 hours to milk those cows. Um, we wanted to get something more efficient, and so we decided to build a parlor. And our labor savings on this parlor, if we had this parlor for 20 years, it would be the equivalent of only working 15 years and then having the other extra 5 years labor versus staying in the other parlor. If we stayed in the other parlor, we'd have to milk 20 years. In this parlor, we'd only have to milk 15. So the huge labor savings there, better cow flow, easier management. So every hour per milking we save is yearly savings of about 11,000 a year. So our farm is a certified organic hybrid farm where we're grazing the summer and full confinement in the winter. We have 185 milking cows, that's milking and dry, and then all the replacements. We have 911 acres of organic and transition, and 200 acres of transitional, so a total of 911 acres. To milk cows in this parlor, we wanted to design the parlor so the cows were waiting for the people, not the people waiting for the cows. When people wait for the cows, they start doing things that they shouldn't. We wanted a natural flow through the parlor where the cow would be uninterrupted. There's no back. We don't have any back gates in our parlor to cut cows. The last cow just stands and holds the cow in front of her. When we open the gate, they want to follow each other around. If we had a gate there, we'd interrupt that flow, and then they disconnect from the cow in front of them. We wanted everything on the same plane. We didn't want to have steps in the parlor. Our alleyways exiting the parlor do not have corners in them, and so they're more of a rounding. So the cow can't pull off and get in the corner and stay there. Everybody just follows and flows out. Our exit alleys are wide enough for 2 cows to go by, wide enough for a cow to turn around if she has to, but narrow enough that it's uncomfortable to have her turn around. So everybody, once they're going in the right direction, they just continue to go in the right direction. As long as we don't interrupt cow flow, we can really milk, between 80 and 90 cows an hour. Occasionally we can get to 90 cows an hour. Most high school kids can get 70 cows an hour by them, within a month or so. And then there's high school kids that can still only milk 45 cows an hour here. It's all on how well they listen and do their routine. If they and it's simple things like every second adds up. Every cow. If you have a second, add a second every cow. That's 5 seconds per set. Add that again to the next cow. That you double that. And pretty soon you're looking at an hour and a half they wasted here. There's 15 units in the parlor. There's only one operator in the parlor. We have 2 people milking when we milk. We have one person that cleans and scrapes the barn. The other, and he or she also pushes cows up into the holding pen. The only group that the milkers have to go get are the dump pen, and otherwise it's just a 2-person operation. And basically, one person does all the milking. The other person never comes in the parlor unless it's to ask a question or get a fresh cow milk or something. So on the first side, you prep 5, put the full prep on the first 5. You come back, put the milkers on. You full prep the second 5, come back, put the milkers on. The third set of 5, you full prep, put the milkers on. Then you come up to the other side and you full prep the first 5, put the milkers on. The second set of 5, you put full prep, put the milkers on. Then you go across, you start dipping and letting cows out on the other side. So you go straight across the aisle to the 10 cow, you dip up, you open the gate, you walk back, you dip the last 5 cows, you leave them alone, they come out on their own, you go down, or you just walk back across the aisle, and you put the last 5 on, and by the time you get halfway, probably get your dipping done, this cow's ready to shut the gate, you follow the last cow out, you walk back, you put the milkers on, ring the bell, the cow comes up, the other cows start loading themselves up as you're putting the cows in. On the milkers on, the cows are coming up, and then by the time you get back up here, there's at least 5 to 10 cows preloaded. You don't have to do anything. No, we just open the gate after they're dipped. You dip those first 10 cows on the side that's done. You dip them starting at the back, coming to the front. You open the gate, and they'll just mosey out. They just go nice and slow. You don't push them, you don't slap them. You go back and you finish dipping the last 5 on that side. There's no stress. So they're not in a hurry, so they're not running out. So you have plenty of time to go dip those last 5 cows. You walk across the aisle, and then you pre-dip those new cows that haven't been milked, and then you start the milking procedure over there. As you see them, the last cow heading up, you just come and shut the gate, walk back down, and keep milking. You don't need a back gate because the cows will naturally just push themselves in. Our cows groups, as they get milked, will come up and if you have 7 cows left, they'll just stand there. They don't want to go backward. They don't like to go backwards. The pitch of the floor and the parlor is comfortable enough with the brisket length, or the body length of the cow is comfortable enough. They just will stand there with 7 cows on a side, or 6 cows on a side, or 2 cows on a side. 2 cows is kind of iffy, but they like groups of 3 or more will basically just stand on the side of the parlor. So our controls for the crowd gate match up with our first set of 5 and our second set of 5. And while you're standing there putting the milkers on or doing the prep routine, you can just reach up and ring the bell to get the cows coming. If that doesn't work, then you can shorten the crowd gate up. A lot of times we can milk probably about 80% of a group before we really have to move the crowd gate. They just flow that well. If you load cows if the person loading cows in the holding pen, they look like bullets in a magazine. When they come in, the first cows go in the parlor, and then all the way back to the back of the holding pen, they're already indexed. The whole 60 foot of the holding pen, both sides, they're indexed like this. And the ones in the middle are straight. And you can just like you're shooting bullets out of a gun, they just keep indexing in. And then, if there's a cow in the way, our doors are wide enough that they can go around. There's 6 foot doors. So you can have 2 cows pass. If one doesn't want to come in or not ready to come in, another cow from the middle will go around and come in. So there's very little holding pen or crowd gate usage. It's just to shorten that pen up for the last probably 10, 15 cows. We use the Trans-Iowa parlor for the base design. I was looking at our cow size, and I realized that they didn't quite fit our cows. Our cows are a little bit bigger than the Trans-Iowa design. So we made some adjustments to the length of our stalls. This can't kick rail is about 2 inches higher, I believe. But we actually went out and measured a cow that I thought was the average cow, or the cow that I wanted to have in the barn. That fit our barn well. She didn't have health issues, hock issues. She wasn't super big. She wasn't super small, knowing that that there's a bell curve in your population, and I wanted to milk the center of the bell curve, and I didn't care so much about the little cows. I didn't care so much about the big cows. So we measured the cow I wanted to milk and fit the parlor to her. and everything is we can still milk the big cows. We can still milk the little cows. If we milk the little cows, sometimes we get instead of 15, we'll get 16 inside. We just swing one milker. It's not really an issue. It's quite easy to do. With a swing, we could put all the units in the parlor, and if we'd had double units, we'd have way too many units hanging. It would not have been cost effective. With the way we're utilizing the parlor now, we have basically there's 10 milkers running all the time, whether it's the first set of 5 or first 2 sets of 5, or the last set on this side, the first 5 on this side. It usually equates to about 10 milkers are milking on each at a time. There's always 5 that are just coming off or ready to hang. No, this has been a tremendous time savings, labor efficiency, safe. This is about as safe as you can be. I've only been, have had a couple of things where if you milk within the zone, this is a very safe parlor. The zone is, you're on this side, the gal's on this side. If you're reaching underneath here, you put your head underneath here, you're in a danger zone. You don't belong on this side. But if you're on this side of the parlor, you're safe. The worst thing that happened to me, I got my pinky stepped on when I went to pick up a towel, and you make a lot of noise when that happens. But other than that, we've gotten kicked in the shoulders. When you're reaching, you'll be reaching for a little cow or something that's not in the right spot. Otherwise, other than that, we've never. I mean, that happens once a year maybe. The thing we do different now versus the old parlor is we bring the fresh cows in, or the fresh heifer in. I say, here guys, here's a new heifer, and they can milk them by themselves. They'll follow the cows right in. They'll set in there. They don't get worked up. They let their milk down. We don't, we're organic, and even before we were organic, we never used oxytocin in here. So we quit using oxytocin once we got in this parlor to help cows let milk down. It was a great investment. It saved us a lot of time, and our employees are safe. The kids can milk in here. We have kids that are, they were milking here as young as 6 years old. They'd stand on buckets and milk in here. So